Remember how we used to be able to recycle soft plastics in supermarkets? Well, all of that stopped in November when RedCycle, the company that led the recycling scheme, went into liquidation with about $5 million in debts, which included fees for storing tens of thousands of tons of soft plastics in warehouses across Australia in secret. Earlier this year, Coles and Woolworths said they discovered 11,000 tons of soft plastics stored over 44 sites across the country, while the Victorian government said it found another 3,000 tons stockpiled across 9 sites. Now the supermarkets have taken responsibility for those stockpiles and are trying to figure out what to do with them and how to restart a new recycling scheme, because Australians use 70 billion pieces of soft plastics every year, many of which they buy from supermarkets, and at the moment they're all going to landfill. So supermarkets this week have started sending samples of soft plastics overseas to be recycled because the capacity to recycle that backlog that's just been sitting in storage facilities doesn't exist in Australia, let alone the capacity to restart the program. And about 4% of the thousands of tons that are already sitting in those facilities have begun to degrade beyond the point of being recyclable. That's the problem with the structure of plastic. It can usually only be recycled once, unlike aluminium that can be recycled to infinity. So a spokesperson for Coles and Woolies said, "We're currently exploring a wide range of options to recycle the stockpile, navigating changing timelines from different Australian processors who are developing new soft plastic recycling facilities." So the samples so far have been sent to Germany and the US for trials of advanced chemical recycling, which allows plastics to be turned into food packaging or medical equipment on a large scale, but that process doesn't happen in Australia yet. But sending it overseas may not be the most environmental option. Aside from the fuel required to transport it, it's not under any government oversight once it's gone, so we don't really know what's happening to it, and who knows, it could just be incinerated. Supermarkets are hopeful that a new soft plastics recycling scheme could be implemented in some stores by the end of this year, but a spokesperson said this was also a chance to overhaul our entire approach, like pressuring governments to start curbside collection. They said, "We recognise that in the long term, more soft plastic could be diverted from landfill in future schemes that are more convenient for consumers and can meet soft plastic at the point where it becomes waste, the household." A few local councils have set up local collection points, including Melbourne's City of Kingston, where it's been hugely popular, but it's clear that demand for these services is outstripping capability.